Skip, let's start with you here.
Yeah.
Can you put into words, can you try to explain what it would mean to you for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl this year?
Mr. Sharp, everything I'm about to say is directed at you. You, for 7 years, have spilled ridicule all over my Dallas Cowboys for doing cowboy things. 7 long years I've had to take you talking about my team. So my point to you is that if my team does manage to pull this off, and I give them a shot, maybe even a good shot, not only of winning at San Francisco, but winning an NFC championship game, which would be their first in 27 years, and maybe even going to and winning a Super Bowl, which also would be their first in 27 years. If those things happen, I am warning you, I will be all-time insufferable. I will be merciless on you because you deserve it. Because I'm going to spill back on you 27 long, hard years of torment that has been inflicted upon me on national TV, because for the last 20 years, I've been on national TV, and day after long day, I've had to try to defend my Dallas Cowboys. But I want to preface all this by explaining to you why my torment has built so deeply inside me, because remember, once upon a time, my Cowboys were America's team. And before these last 27 years, I'm going to remind you, I had 34 of the greatest years any NFL fan could ever experience, because I had the ultimate bragging right, ultimate. And I'm going to detail why I did. So I became a Dallas Cowboy fan at age 10. I told you my uncle took me to a game in Dallas, to the old Cotton Bowl. I saw the St. Louis Cardinals beat my Dallas Cowboys, and I was a St. Louis fan. But I fell in love with the Cowboys that day because of those stars on the shoulder pads and on the helmet. And here they went. And they rewarded me, because that year they were 4-9-1. The next year they were 5-8-1. And I started, you could just see it coming. They slipped back a little bit the next year, but then all of a sudden they go 5-8-1 again. And then 7-7, because Dandy Don Meredith took over at quarterback. And here they went. They were in what were called NFL championship games. They're the equivalent of the NFC championship, but it was for the league championship, for the right to go to Super Bowl I and II. So they played Vince Lombardi's Packers in Dallas the first year, and they lost at home 34-27, but it was a shootout. It was a great game, and I was not unhappy with it. And then Lombardi's Packers went on to beat Kansas City in Super Bowl I. The next year is the Ice Bowl. It was the worst loss I ever suffered in my NFL fan life, because we were way better than the Packers at that point, but it was minus 48 wind chill, and so we could not move, we could not explode on offense, and we lost. But we could have gone on to play in Super Bowl II, and that was against the Oakland Raiders, remember? But the Packers went on and got to do that. From those 2 games on, I'm going to detail, just look at the expanse of this. In my first 34 years of fandom, I had 2 NFL championship games. I had 8 Super Bowls. I got 5 Lombardis out of it. I was in 14 NFC championship games. And in those games, I was 8-6, which is pretty good. 14 of those. I had 23 playoff appearances in 34 years. But would you believe that in playoff wins, I had 49? Over my 34 my first 34 years going through that 95 season, 49 wins was, would you believe, 18 more than the second team on this list? 18 more. They dominated pro football for all those 34 years. 49 wins, or 49 playoff games, and the record was 31-18. Those are by far more than anybody had over my first 34 years through 1995. They were the ultimate team. It's how they got to be America's team, but it happened so long ago. Even you probably don't remember this. They were number 1 with a bullet. The Cowboy fans had ultimate bragging rights all the way through 1995. No, all the way. No. All the way. 60s, 70s,
y'all didn't
80s.
do nothing.
Yes, we did. In the early 80s, went to 3 straight NFC championship games. We had 1 mini drought at the end of Tom Landry when it was Gary Hogeboom at quarterback. It was Steve Pallura at quarterback. It was a disaster until the Jimmy Jerry regime took over, and they took off right away because they had Aikman and Emmett and Troy.
But Jimmy didn't come till '89.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Landry drafted Michael Irvin in '88.
But we won the division in '85. See, we won it. And then Eric Dickerson ran us off the field out here in Anaheim.
That was the year the Bears won it.
Yeah, okay. All right. But then the lean years were the Herschel years.
Yeah.
Herschel, Tony Dorsett. It was 86, 87, 88. But 89, here comes Jimmy and Jerry. You could just see right away they were going to turn the thing around, as Jimmy said, and they took off. Okay. Since then, here's the flip side. Since 1996, would you believe that we have now gone 5-11 in the postseason over the last 27 years? 5-11. That is the worst playoff winning percentage in all of football. Nobody's had a worse playoff record over the last 27 years than the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. So we went from by far the best, like dominating the best, to by far the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why it's been so hard on me, because for my first 34 years as a fan, we were it. We were it. Harder. Okay, well, it's not, because I got a feeling that's going to be a breakthrough.
I don't know what that feeling. I don't know why you got that feeling.
Okay, so I'm really trying to show you, I've got pent-up anger. I got pent-up angst. I got pent-up emotion.
Well, you ain't going to get it out this weekend.
I'm going to spill it.
No, you're not. It's going to be upset. You're going to be upset, and you're going to blame Mike McCarthy for what transpired onto your behinds on Sunday.
I got a really good feeling about this. We're in the right place at the right time, and you are betting on Brock Purdy.
You're betting on your Cowboys.
Yeah.
What have they shown you over the last 27 years? You say that's a large sample size. Now, you tell me the medical team that does a sample size for 27 years.
5-11 in the postseason.
5-11.
That's just horrible.
Yeah.
It's a 31% winning percentage. It's the worst.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, you got a feeling. In 2023, you got a feeling.
Well, I've been there and done all this before, and I know what a Super Bowl team looks like, and my team is starting to look like
You said that last year.
No,
you said last year they were unjinxable. I remember you and Michael Irvin said the same thing. Jerry was quoting what Michael said. He came up in the box, and he used the analogy of the dog. He said, you put that dog in the hunt, and once they tasted that blood, they'll come back. They different. They never be the same. Yeah. You said the same thing last year at the Patriots. And what did it get you?
Yeah.
You was over here hyping. My team is unjinxable.
Okay.
You said that earlier this year, too.
And Dak threw a walk-off touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb, and I thought we have...
And what Jimmy G do? And Jimmy G threw a walk-off win against y'all.
Wait a second. What happened on that pass to CeeDee Lamb? What happened on it? Dak somehow weirdly rips his calf muscle.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, and he's gone.
Can I ask you a question? Now, look at this. You see the difference? Now, you say your team is talented. Everybody tell me the Cowboys got a lot of talent. Now, look what happened when Jimmy G goes down. Look what Brock Purdy did. If your team is what you said he is with all this talent, what Michael and Jerry said, all this talent, they should be able to put a quarterback in there and keep going right on down the road.
Well, didn't they this year?
No.
Didn't Cooper Rush win 4 out of 5?
Yeah.
When you said they're done?
How many games did Purdy win?
He's won 6 in a row.
How many? 6 in a row.
Yep.
They done won like 11.
Okay.
11 or 12.
They won 11 in a row. Okay, so they're 3.5-point favorites. So I will right now take those 3.5 for 5 cases.
No, you don't want to talk about. You got all this. If you got so much pent-up anger, give me the points.
No.
Why not?
Well, I'm not, because we're 3.5-point underdogs.
But if you believe,
if you do that, this is a juggernaut. They've won 11 straight games. Are you kidding?
I've been in a situation where I was so confident about my team, I gave you the points that they were favored by.
Joe Montana Jr., how can I beat him?
Joe Montana Jr. No, you told me Dak Prescott just had a game that will rival anything Troy and Roger Staubach ever did.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
5 touchdowns, 300-yard passing against the GOAT on the road, and you hadn't won a road playoff game since '92, and half your team wasn't even alive in '92.
Please, we cannot put Dak's name in the same sentence with Roger Staubach's.
That's what you told me. He had a game. He had a game.